Hey everybody, my name is Ryan Stunkel, and today we will be recreating Byleths Failnaught Arrow from Smash Bros. Ultimate. Here is the original sound, and here's our version. First off, to get started with the sound, since it's a bow and arrow, I figured we would do the sound of the wood flexing in the bow. So I took this braided leather belt that I use on a day-to-day basis, and I just twisted the belt and it made this cool stretchy sound. Then I went outside, turned on an outdoor grill made of metal, let it heat up, and then I poured water over it. This is going to help us fill out the frequency spectrum of our sound effect. We'll be using EQ on this later as well. Lastly, I wanted to get a few sound sources that had a unique and definable pitch. The water being poured on a hot grill is really cool, but unfortunately it just doesn't have a whole lot of personality behind it. So I decided to record the sound of a vacuum cleaner, an airplane, and a metal spatula hitting a metal knife. These pitched sounds will help us add some personality later on. I use the airplane pass by because it has incredible speed and power to it, and I feel like those elements of the airplane helped emphasize the sound quite a bit. If you're going to try this yourself, just make sure you get permission because you can get in a lot of trouble with an airport. With the knife and spatula, I just wanted some sort of high-pitched ringing sound, and it provided that source recording perfectly. One thing to note, I would just be careful which metal sources you choose, because if we use regular silverware like this, it doesn't really ring out that much. You'll see why this is important later. This will be used for the shining light from the arrow. And for the vacuum, I'll be completely honest, I just stole this from Brian since it was just lying around and it had a unique and definable pitch. Now, onto the processing. We can break this entire sound down into two different parts: the pullback and the release of the arrow. The pullback will use the belt twisting sound to give a sense of the bow flexing. And then we added a pitch shifter and automated the pitch upwards to give a greater sense of buildup. And then I layered in one more belt twist sound at the end to help emphasize the finality of the buildup. And then for the rest of the buildup, it was pretty much the same thing across the board. The vacuum cleaner, when you turn it on, had a natural rise in pitch, as well as the airplane passing by with the Doppler effect. I decided to add a little pitch shifting automation on the vacuum cleaner anyways, though. I then used the water being poured on the hot grill to create a little bit more frequency spectrum fill out. I used one at the start to create an initial feedback sound, and then I used another one to match our airplane, vacuum, and belt twist sounds, just to help emphasize the buildup even more, plus the really awesome sound texture that it created. To complete the buildup, I used the metal ringing spatula and knife. I felt that the entire sound covered a lot of the low to mid frequency range, so I felt that adding little bits of high frequency here and there might help out a bit. Just a few light touches at the beginning, middle, and end of the buildup, and it really just feels like the buildup is a lot more fulfilling now. I used pitch shifters across each individual metal hit, and I also reversed some of them. And then for the release of the arrow, I had 5 different layers. The first one was water being poured on a hot grill. In this recording, there was a bit where I accidentally bumped the microphone, and I don't know how it happened, but it worked out for the best because it created a really cool impact sound. I added some saturation to this to beef it up a little bit. And then I added the start of the airplane's Doppler effect to give the sense of the arrow going by really fast. I also cut off the attack of this to emphasize the impact sound that we had. I also added a metal ringing out sound again, but automated the pitch downwards to match the airplane flying by. This helped cover some higher frequency spectrum in the sound. Adding higher frequencies on the most important part of the sound makes it more exciting. And then I have 2 quick bits of buildup on the sound. One being water on a hot grill, and the other being another metal ringing out sound reversed. And then we add some reverb, and we're done. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you want to learn some basics in sound design, then you can check out the free course in the description below. We show you how to navigate Reaper, how to use a lot of the plugins that we show off in this video, and then we also have some stuff showing off how to integrate your sounds into video games using Unity, Wise, and Fmod. Anyways, if you want to get started learning today, then check out the description below. Hope to see you there.